Good evening, everyone. Welcome to tonight's broadcast. We have gathered a collection of truly unsettling tales from the deepest, most isolated corners of the wilderness. Before we dive into the dark, if you want to support the channel and unlock exclusive bonus content, head over to our Patreon. Use the promo code GHOST for a 70% discount, available until December 12th. But for now, lock your doors, dim the lights, and let the atmosphere take hold. Story 1: The Roadside Encounter. I've hesitated to share this for years, mostly because of the embarrassment I feel regarding my younger, naive self. To understand, you need the context. It was August 2008. I was 16 and hopelessly in love with my boyfriend, Gabe. Our parents had forbidden us from seeing each other, but we managed to briefly talk during a supervised trip to the county fair. Gabe whispered that he was going to trek 10 miles to my house at midnight. Being equally impulsive, I decided to walk halfway to meet him. The moon was incredibly bright that night, casting long shadows across the empty roads. As I walked alone, a couple of vehicles slowed down to offer me a ride, but I nervously declined. Eventually, I met Gabe. We spent the night talking, feeling invincible, but by 5 a.m., I had to head back. On my return journey, I found an old, indestructible brick phone lying in the road. It surprisingly powered on when I pressed the button. Soon after, a rusted sedan slowed down beside me. The driver was an unkempt older man with tired eyes. My gut told me to run, but my tired legs convinced me to accept a ride just to the nearby casino. Once inside, the man's behavior changed. He began asking personal questions and suddenly placed his hand on my knee, moving it upward. I froze in terror. Thinking fast, I pulled out the found cell phone and started babbling about it with forced excitement. His greed took over. He became obsessed with the phone, taking it from me to examine it. I used that distraction to insist he drop me off at the end of my long, hidden driveway. The second I stepped out and he drove away, I sprinted home, shaking with the realization of how close I had come to a tragedy. Story 2: The Man in the School Woods. This took place during my 6th grade year. During a September recess, my friend Courtney emerged from the woods, eyes wide with excitement. She led us to a hidden campsite where a disheveled man was living in a tent. He seemed weary but harmless, claiming he was just a hungry traveler. We even asked for his ID, and seeing that his name was Justin, the same as my friend, we decided he was trustworthy. For 3 days we smuggled snacks to him, feeling like young heroes on a secret mission. However, Justin eventually grew restless, asking if there were deeper woods where he wouldn't be found. I told him about the forest behind my house. That evening, as Courtney guided him there, the police intercepted them. We soon learned the horrifying truth. Homeless Justin was actually a fugitive, wanted for the murder of his girlfriend and son. He had been hiding just yards away from our playground. The memory of our secret friend still makes my skin crawl. My father spent a decade as a logger in the Pacific Northwest, a place where the trees are old and the secrets are many. He wasn't easily frightened, but the stories his colleagues brought back were different. One friend told of a blinding white light that gripped his truck on a service road, shaking the heavy metal before vanishing. Another found a massive, fresh footprint by a river, far larger than any human boot. I had my own encounter years later in Wenatchee. My aunt's property bordered a cemetery and an orchard. One winter night, while playing hide-and-seek in the snow with my cousins, I heard a girl's voice clearly whisper, "Over here, come closer." I thought it was a prank, but a sudden, overwhelming wave of dread hit me. I fled back to the house. The next day, I investigated the spot. There was no one there, no tracks in the fresh snow, and no possible place for a person to have been hiding. In northern Colombia during the late 70s, my grandfather lived near a man of immense unexplained wealth. Local rumors suggested he had traded his soul for his fortune. No locals would work for him, only outsiders took the job, and every August a worker would be found dead and mutilated near the river, a sacrifice for his contract. Eventually, the man was left entirely alone in his jungle mansion. One August night, a storm of biblical proportions struck. Villagers reported hearing inhuman screams over the thunder. The next morning, the landowner was found strapped to a tree, his body split perfectly down the middle as if by a giant blade. The community believed he tried to fight the devil to end his pact, and lost. To this day, the ruins of that mansion remain avoided by all. I live in the woods of West Virginia. Recently, I lost my German Shepherd puppy when she chased something into the trees. A few nights later, I heard her familiar bark deep in the forest. I ran into the darkness, but soon realized the barks had stopped. Silence fell. Then a shriek so violent and primal echoed through the trees that it chilled my very bones. As I stumbled toward a dirt road, I saw two white lights. I thought it was a car, but the headlights blinked. They were eyes. As the creature stood, it rose to 9 feet tall. When I shone my phone light on it, I saw a distorted human-like figure in a plaid shirt with bruised bluish skin and a sunken face. I dropped my phone and ran until I found a neighbor's house. The old man there wasn't surprised. He told me the legend of Bubba Jacks, a creature that had haunted those woods longer than he'd been alive. Thank you for joining me for tonight's journey into the dark. I hope these stories stay with you as you drift off to sleep. If you enjoyed the collection, please let me know in the comments. A huge thank you to my patrons for making this channel possible. I'll see you tomorrow with a new set of chilling encounters. Until then, stay safe and good night.